Ladies and gentlemen, the crypto market was hit with yet another massive disruption over the past couple of hours, as Coinbase yet again has gone down. In particular, Coinbase's website and the exchange are unavailable. The company said it is investigating the outage and that user funds are safe. And even though about 20 or so minutes ago the exchange got back online after roughly 3 hours, I think it's quite interesting what they say here. The exchange noted the outage in a post on X, saying it was investigating the issue and working on a solution, but the only thing they basically let go is that your funds are safe, and the spokesperson for Coinbase said the company didn't have anything to add. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or some of this negative speculation, but I will say that the Bitcoin price instantly dropped, which brings up two pieces of speculation. One, and this is the most important one, what if this is more than just a coincidence in the sense that, Coinbase didn't actually go down, but nobody knows why, but it was a more manipulative act? Think about it. In the past year, whenever there's crazy amounts of volatility, the Coinbase exchange faced some issues. Now, what if an employee who had a little bit more control than he should have, or was able to turn something off, or perhaps some more insiders, but that's too far to speculate, was able to get some control to turn some services off or disrupt something somehow? Theoretically speaking, now with this knowledge in mind from today, in hindsight, they were able to make such massive amounts of profit by shorting Bitcoin on a different exchange at the same time while Coinbase was going down and making tons of profit because the Bitcoin price dropped immensely. But anyway, let's not sit on all that speculation for too long now that I think about it. It's not worth it because at the end of the day, we're not going to figure it out. So let's just move on to things that we can figure out. One of those things is the flows of the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And one of the most notable parts is that Grayscale, which has been known for having massive outflows, partially because of their crazy high fees, which are leading all these institutions to take the money out of Grayscale. That was one of the first ones, moving it over into the ones from BlackRock and all of those sorts, just with lower fees, at least for the first few months. But apparently, even though that is all going on, right, they still had $0 worth of outflows yesterday. And so there's some speculation going around that what if Grayscale also is going to turn positive now? And with the Hong Kong ETFs here, with Grayscale potentially not being negative anymore, and now what? Ethereum ETFs coming up soon too? This could become a really bullish time period. I'd say especially because in the midst of things, take a look at these two announcements, right? The Swiss bank UBS, the largest bank in Switzerland, disclosed it holds shares in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, and also this Tokyo. Metaplanet adopts Bitcoin as strategic reserve asset amidst Japan's economic uncertainty. Allocates $1 billion for 117 Bitcoin. Dylan Leclerc appointed as director of Bitcoin strategy. There was actually more though. Even this one, Bank of Montreal, Canada, the fourth largest bank, disclosed their spot Bitcoin ETF holdings. All I was trying to say with that is that the numbers, right? If you really start looking at them from a accumulation perspective, are quite low. A lot of these major banks, they're accumulating Bitcoin, sure, but the numbers of inflows are kind of mediocre. But on an opposite side, if we're looking at the names and if we're comparing the crypto space of a few years ago to the one we're having now, it's sometimes to me hard for people it's sometimes for me hard to realize how people can justify bearish price predictions. I don't understand how all these major banks that we've been talking about here recently are stacking up because they understand the diversification necessities and they understand the Bitcoin crypto mission. And then you're still bearish. You're still thinking, $100,000 seems way too high. Bitcoin is going to die. I don't get it. And I've been looking around a lot to see if I could understand why somebody would think this whole industry is just going to go kaput. But I can't. I'm still so excited about this space, and I can't really let anybody else convince me of anything otherwise because it just doesn't make sense. And before we move on, I will say one more thing. If you've not done it yet and you haven't gotten yourself a crypto exchange account, make sure you check out the link in the description down below. There's going to be a couple of different ones for different jurisdictions, but if you can, I'd recommend Bybit as the exchange I personally use. At least I recommend you to check it out because they've got some massive, I think, yeah, $30,000 worth of deposit bonuses. Would be a waste to not cash in on these things whenever it's possible. But yeah, again, link is down below, and if you use this link, you'll get a 10% fee discount as well, next to all the rest of the bonuses. So yeah, check it out. Anyway, in the midst though, I should add one more thing. I've told you on multiple occasions here, even in this video, that I don't fully understand how some people could be bearish and against it. That is different when it comes to the government and some of the people along those lines. I fully understand why they'd want to make some of the people involved in this industry look like criminals, and particularly here what I'm seeing right now, it just makes sense. Not because it's justice, but it's justifiable under the right context. Let me elaborate. President Joe Biden plans to criminalize Bitcoin software developers, says Senator Cynthia Lummis. Now, I've stated before that I think that this election happening in a few months will, at least to some degree, revolve around crypto, where obviously a lot of votes can be gathered from being really pro-crypto, and a lot of votes can be gathered from being really against crypto, mostly by old people or, you know, some of the stock investors who just don't believe in this sector. However, and here comes the kicker, if you think about it from a United States perspective, what is it that you want the most? It's control. And a part of that revolves around the US dollar. I understand how everybody, you know, inside your country that's working on making these decentralized currencies should basically be seen, you know, from an ethical perspective as an enemy of the state. I mean, not from a criminal perspective, because it's still, you know, kind of justifiable to make something because it's free money, so to speak. But I'm talking about, what is cryptocurrency's goal? Ultimately, I don't think anybody can say that it's to make the reliance on the US dollar bigger. It's to make the US dollar more important. It's good for the United States dollar. Again, depending on how far you want to take it, it might actually be good. But from a simple point of view, the Bitcoin and everything that gives more freedom to the people is taking some of the reliance on this old-fashioned banking system away, which I can understand that they do not want to see. Again, I'll tell you that they're not having all these Powell speeches because they want people to go away from the US dollar, and they're not doing that because they want to keep showing just how little faith they have in the Federal Reserve and in all their policy. They're having these to basically reassure people that over time things will get better and get all right. But if in the, you know, at the same time, basically, people are developing these alternative currencies right under your nose, I can understand why you'd be against it. Again, I don't agree with it. I'm just saying from a president perspective, this is not what you like to hear. From a Fed Chair Powell perspective, this is not what you want to hear. And so that is why from that angle, it does make sense to be really much against crypto. But here comes where I combine the earlier story and this one. That is exactly why a lot of these banks and a lot of these behemoth companies are hoarding up so much, because they understand it cannot be stopped. They're trying. They're definitely trying, but it cannot be done. And I think that that's why we're seeing an uptick recently in the numbers, and hopefully soon enough it's going to be just mostly green because the light is showing through the cracks. But again, that is just my theory. Those are just my thoughts. If you agree, let me know down below. If you disagree, let me know down below as well. I read every single comment. And even though I took a little bit of a break over the past couple of weeks with not providing as much news as I've done for the last years beforehand, we're back, baby. So get ready for a lot of crypto updates every single day, hopefully every minute of the hour, every hour of the day, because I want to keep you guys as informed as possible, because I think that right now things are going to start ramping up, and once they move really fast, and I want you guys to be ready. So hopefully you've put that notification bell on, and I'll see you guys again in another one very soon.